Let's move on to our next team. As you can see there, it's ITER IDEA, who are coming from Italy. We've Guido, Mazza, Matteo, Carbone and Sara Baroni are the members of that team. And they are going to be talking about a portal that facilitates women's mobility in Europe. But first, let's take a quick look at the video.
Hi, we are ITER IDEA and this is our Wanderlust Women, an app designed to dream big.
How many times did you imagine changing your life?
To find out what the future might hold for you if you only have the courage to take that step.
Maybe the feeling of the unknown is freezing you.
Thanks to a series of European open data and other useful services, the app provides initial support to plan your next steps.
Combine work and education data to change direction or to accelerate on the road you're traveling on, supported by companies that value you.
Hi, Guido Mazza here, and I'm excited to join this challenge because it allows us to show how open data technology can impact people's lives in order to support social integration.
Ciao, I'm Matteo Carbone. With our project, we want to create a new platform supporting the recovery of mobility across Europe after the pandemic situation.
Hi, I'm Sara, and our app was born from the idea to provide women a chance to live a life-changing experience, regaining confidence and promoting their personal development.
We accepted the challenge.
Well, indeed, you have accepted the challenge for our challenge number 2, an economy that works for people. So please take the floor and tell us about the economy that works for women.
Thank you very much. Good morning, everyone. I'm thrilled to introduce you to Wanderlust Women. We are Matteo from ITER IDEA, an Italian startup founded just a few months ago. Now, why Wanderlust Women? You may be aware that young women are the ones experiencing the most difficulties entering the job market. Sadly, this is also one of the categories most affected by the pandemic scenario. On the bright side, we identified as opportunities the fact that companies have increasing attention to certifications that aim to gender equality. Universities are improving and promoting their internationalization careers. Furthermore, we have new investments set for mobility programs. We can also, next slide, please, appreciate how just in the last 4 years, more than 3 million people had a mobility experience. And among them, roughly half of those people fit the target of our project. Next slide. So who is the target of Wanderlust Women? For example, Emilia from Poland. She's studying information and communication technologies. She speaks French, and she's looking for a destination where to continue her studies and perhaps start her first internship ever. Or Leire from Granada in Spain. She finished studying long ago. She worked for 5 years in the same company, and now she would like to start brand new. So she's looking for new challenges, but she's not sure what or where to look for. Next, please. How to help Emilia, Leire, and all the other millions of young women that are looking for opportunities abroad. We decided to take advantage of European data to create an easy-to-use, appealing, and engaging web app that can visually display opportunities and can highlight hidden patterns to help our user in their choice. Next. To achieve our objectives, we processed nearly 6 million of rows with data coming from many European and national sources. And you can see some of them at the bottom of the slide. And to be able to manage those massive quantity of data, we took advantage of cloud computing technologies and resources. And it wasn't easy. The data was indeed very diverse. It was especially difficult to recognize and link together the same entities across different datasets. For example, you can imagine in how many ways a person can type such an easy text as Rome, the city, like hundreds, no kidding. And the results were sometimes quite hilarious. Please, next. For example, little we knew that Sandwich was a popular destination for ICT people. Nevertheless, we finally managed to make a sense out of this huge amount of information. And therefore, the next question was, next, how to visually summarize all of it in a way that opportunities could be easy to discover and understand. Next. Here comes the heart of our platform, the tip. We introduced this concept and related data model to be able to elaborate and link different information together. With this model, it's quite easy to append new data and create brand new tips. And you can see some tip example at the top of the slide. Those brief sentences have often one city as a target, and we prefer this granularity rather than picking areas or regions, because we are well aware of the many differences that closely located cities may have. The content of the tip is dynamically elaborated based on the parameters that the user decides to provide. And together, those tips contribute to a classification that suggests cities as opportunities to our young women based on, of course, on what they shared about themselves. Next. The variety of topics for the tips is wide. We have mobility, field of competence, gender equality, cost of life, transportation, etc., etc. You can see some examples here. Next, please. Let's see now how those tips fit together in the platform with a demo, with the point of view of Emilia. In the intro page, Emilia can read a brief explanation of the purpose of the platform. Right after, she's asked to provide some information in order to grant better suggestions, and she can either accept or deny, and in the last case, she will have a user-generic experience. For example, she can provide her age, or her field of study or work, her country and city of origin, if she's interested in the accessibility capabilities of the cities, and so on. The parameters are quite anonymous, and they are not stored anywhere. Once she confirms her choices, the map will change for her, highlighting the cities that are mostly going to suit her needs. Now, Emilia, she speaks French, so she's naturally inclined to look for cities in France. She's attracted by Nice, one of the suggested cities, and by choosing it, she will see a lot of information that will help her evaluation. Those are the tips that we talked about earlier. Then she may want to try with another French city, for example, Rennes. And a tip here, for example, tells her that the city is a good destination for her field of study, and so much more. Now, we care about the transparency of the information that we display, and that is why every tip always has its data source and additional explanation attached. As you can see, the platform is pretty straightforward, explorable, and concrete. Emilia surely will get good information to plan her next step, her next life choices. Next, please. We also created a specific accessibility mode that lets you easily explore the opportunities using the keyboard or other devices. And next, we implemented a stunning high contrast dark mode to help also in that way. Next. These are some of the partners. Next slide, please. Okay, these are some of the partners and supporters that believed in the first step of Wonder Wanderless Women and helped us along the way. We were lucky enough to be published in a few newspapers and online publications, one even in Click Lavoro, which is a website of the Italian Ministry of Labor and Social Policies. We are so glad. A big thanks to all of you. Next and final. So what is next? Or in other words, what is our go-to-market strategy here? First of all, it's just the beginning. We have always been interested in the mobility scenario, but up until 6 months ago, Wonder Wanderless Women wasn't in the plans at all. So we have still a long way to go, but we are proud of the good start. In the next steps, we will look for more universities and companies that aim to promote their organization and their unique opportunities in Wonder Wanderless Women. And if some entity is listening and interested in working with us, you will find a QR code to get in touch in the next slide. We are looking forward to hearing from you. We will then take advantage of our network of partners and support for support and promotion to gather feedback, and many other things are coming. But finally, of course, this is all about spreading awareness on this essential topic to support all those Wonder Wanderless women out there. Thank you.
Thank you very much for your presentation. We have questions coming in already. A great app, someone says, but can young male professionals have access to it?
Well, yes. Some of the data that we have are gender-free, let's say, but some of those are actually specifically acquired and thought for females, for women. So that is our primary target of the platform. But of course, everyone can use it.
And why did you choose as a target group women between 25 and 35?
So we saw from our first studies, from our first analysis, that this is the target most affected, as we said earlier in the slides, by entering the job market. They are experiencing the most difficulties, and this is also the target most affected, apparently, by studies by the pandemic scenario. So together we had this by Sara of targeting this specific niche of people. And we think it's the right target to start with. But of course, again, the platform is open to everyone that wants to use it.
And what are the criteria that are gender specific in the app that make the place more attractive to women? And which are the criteria that these data are based on?
So we have some data about the gender equality, and a lot of the tips that we show are in collaboration with some of our partners that specifically aim to support women or to reduce the gap in the gender equality gap. So we had a collaboration with the Equal Salary Organization, where Frida and some other institutions that are helping us in promoting some initiatives that can help the women specifically in using the app and find opportunities.
Well, it seems that the results given tend to favour the bigger cities. Was that a conscious decision, or was there data not available for perhaps rural areas or smaller cities?
Well, it really depends. For example, the user persona that we created, the first one would get some big city, the second one would get some more small specific city. It depends on the parameters that you provide and the opportunities that we can find in that specific city. But it's, I would say, really various. It's not always big cities, but of course, they are the ones well equipped for accessibility or for some of the biggest companies that are recognizing the equal salary with equal salary certification. So it can happen that the big cities are shown first.
And a question here is saying that gender-targeted products are often perceived as non-inclusive and could possibly even risk strengthening existing stereotypes. What's your take on this?
Well, it's a risk, of course, but we see that there is nothing like that out there. So we wanted to really support this kind of target. And this is our starting point. So this is our idea of it, our take. But again, we'll see what the future brings to us. If people will want to have a larger approach, we will think about it and surely implement it.
And is there one particular challenge or hurdle that you think is going to be the biggest when it comes to taking your next steps?
Yes, we are working on actually the first step that you make after you use the platform. So we are starting to collaborate with some communities and trying to integrate maybe some European ambassador programs. We are aware of someone existing and some other that are being created. We are in contact with some French and Portuguese initiatives, thanks to our contacts in the Europe network, which is one of our partners. So we want to work on making the first step easier once we identify a city that could be a good chance for a new start for some of our women.
And I have a final question. The examples you gave, are they real people? Are they based on real people, or are they hypothetical?
They are hypothetical, but very real.
Okay. Well, thank you very much and best of luck in the public vote.